speaking on the Pokemon trainer show, right? I know a lot of you guys probably like got apparently, because I saw this video or so. I never experienced this, the whole Cynthia thing, right? In what Pokemon game did Cynthia popped up in? I don't remember. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head or so. Did she show up in Diamond and Pearl? Was it Diamond and Pearl that she showed up in, or was it in something else? So she showed up. I do remember playing Diamond and Pearl, but I don't think I remember I had a tough time with her, to be honest. I think she was like relatively really easy to take care of. I never had an issue with Cynthia because I remember playing Diamond and Pearl. I still have Diamond and Pearl. Was she a in Diamond and Pearl? Was she part of the Elite Four? Well, apparently there's a video here that says Cynthia and Garchomp traumatized an entire generation, you know? Cynthia was a champion, okay. We're gonna see. I want to know if you guys are true. I don't really remember too much of my Diamond and Pearl Let's Play, but I do remember playing it though, and I beat in it and everything. So because I remember getting a shiny Skitty. I got me a shiny, I think Skitty, right? Is it Skitty that I got from that one? I think it might have been, or it might have been a different shiny, but I remember. Oh no! It was a shiny Pachirisu. Yeah, it was a shiny Pachirisu because that was like literally my first shiny Pokemon I ever gotten without using the whole new stuff, the shiny stuff to get shiny a lot faster. But I got me a shiny Pachirisu, and I still have the game. It should be over there on the shelf, I think. I think so.
Cynthia and Garchomp traumatized a whole generation of players. Today we're talking about a name that still sends shivers down the spines of millions. Cynthia. Specifically how Cynthia and her Garchomp didn't just beat us in battle, they traumatized an entire generation of players. The collective memory of that final battle in the Sinnoh region, whether it was in the original Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, or the more recent Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl remakes.
Yeah, that's the one. I had Diamond. I had the Diamond version back then. I think my sister had the Pearl version as well. I think I have both of them in my possession. We never played the Platinum version, so, or the new remake.
Is etched into the very soul. It wasn't just a tough fight. It was an emotional roller coaster, a trial by fire that left us questioning everything we thought we knew about being the Pokemon champion. I still remember my first time. My team, meticulously trained, felt ready. I had my starter Infernape, my trusty Ice.
I remember what I had as my starter. I had Empoleon for my starter. That was my starter.
Type Mamoswine, my flying ace Staraptor. I was confident, cocky even. Then the music hit. That music. You know the one. The one that starts with a calm, almost serene melody, and slowly builds into a heart-pounding epic.
I know a lot of people got traumatized from that music.
Boss music which screams, you are not ready for this. And then, Spirit Tomb, followed by a cascade of absolute nightmares. My meticulously planned strategies crumbled. My Pokemon fainted one by one, and by the time Garchomp...
I like this song, but I like the remix version of other people making of that song. I like that one a lot more better.
Came out, I wasn't battling. I was just trying to survive. My poor Infernape stood no chance against the monstrous Garchomp's earthquake. It was a brutal, humbling
Did people really got their asses handed to them by Cynthia? Was she really that difficult? Was she really like that scary to a lot of younger people? She was? Really? Huh. I don't know. Wait, let me see. Hold on. Hold on, let me see. Hold on, let me see. Let's see, the list of Pokemon in Diamond. Can I see the Sinnoh Pokedex real quick? Can we just see real quick? Yeah, I had Empoleon. I had Staraptor. I remember that. Who else did I had on this team? Oh yeah, Bastiodon. I remember him. I remember Beautifly. I got Beautifly. Low Punny. Yeah, I remember Low Punny. I'm trying to see like Pokemons that I used to use. Yep, Garchomp. I remember using Garchomp too as well. I remember Lucario. Yep, Hippodon. Yeah, I remember Hippodon. I also used him too. Milotic. Yep, Milotic took a hot minute to get though, but this is the one that I got as well. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I never had a difficulty, you know. Take care, Pillow. Be safe. Yeah, I never had a difficulty with her. I don't know. Those were like the Pokemons that I used. I remember using those Pokemons. I'm trying to take a look at like any other ones.
Imagine if they remake Platinum and used Renegade Platinum's AI logic. That game will be Nintendo's hardest official Pokemon game yet.
No, because they'll probably do the same thing what they did with Shining Diamond and Brilliant Pearl, so no. Pachirisu was the one that I got a shiny on. I got a shiny Pachirisu. The shiny Pachirisu version of this was it was pink. Like this part was pink. I remember. Black and White was only hard because they nerfed the XP gains. I never played Black and White. Yeah, I never played any of the Black and White games, so... I don't know. I didn't play, but I feel like I am playing, while I use another dragon to learn some ice moves against her Garchomp. It was grindy as fuck, was it?
Experience that taught me Pokemon battles were far more complex than just hitting super effective. We're diving deep into why Cynthia was such a menace, breaking down her entire team, uncovering surprising facts about Garchomp you probably never knew, reliving our shared struggles, and finally, figuring out how we all eventually conquered this immovable challenge. Before we unleash this...
I really never had any issues. I don't know. I've never had... I don't know. I've never had any issues. It sounds like a skill issue in my personal opinion.
Beast. If you've ever felt the cold dread of Cynthia's Garchomp, smash that like button right now. It helps YouTube know you want more deep dives into Pokemon's greatest challenges. Cynthia's unfair advantage. Cynthia wasn't just any champion, she was a master strategist, a bit of a bully. Her team composition and battle tactics were designed...
I don't know. I only know her Pokemon stats are high, but I feel like if you played around with the weakness, it's just another Pokemon game. Yeah, that's what I thought or so. I was like, I never had any issues with Cynthia. I don't remember like having issues at all. Like literally not at all. I do not remember. I really don't remember having like actual issues with like facing her. It was still good. Like I had no problems whatsoever. I was just completely like, you know. She was fun. She was really fun, but I don't remember ever having issues with her.
Designed to push players to their absolute limits, exploiting every weakness and punishing every mistake. Her unique, diverse team. Forget everything you knew about Elite Four members having a type. Most champions before her, and many after, specialized in a certain Pokemon type.
Yeah, of course.
Water or even Dragon from Wallace and Lance.
Yeah.
Cynthia's team was a meticulously crafted, a type-diverse nightmare, covering a staggering 9 different types across just 6 Pokemon.
Yeah, that's what I did or so, because I had what? My team that I usually run with, this is the usual team I usually run with. This is back in Sapphire, because that's like one of my favorite. That's personally Sapphire is one of my favorite Pokemon games. Is it would be Gardevoir. It would be, well, actually, to be honest, it's fucking. I don't remember. Is Garchomp in? I don't think Garchomp is in Sapphire, right? I don't remember. Fuck, I don't know. It's been so long, to be honest. It's been so long since I played Pokemon, but like, what I do remember my team that I always enjoy playing, or so, is definitely Gardevoir and Garchomp together, always being my top 1 picks always. And then it'd be my Lotic right after. And then it'd be what is it? Aggron from time to time. Salamence. It was Salamence or so. I remember Salamence. I do remember. Let me see. Hold on. It's been such a long. I don't remember the fucking Pokemon list or so. It's been so long since I looked at Sapphire. So it would be Swampert. It'd be Swampert for my starter. Gardevoir would be my second. I'm trying to remember my team off the top of my head. Aggron would be in my third. Aggron would be on the team. Yeah, Flygon would also be there. Flygon would be my fourth. My Lotic is in there as well. And Metagross. Metagross would be in there. And that's pretty much, that would be my entire team, basically. That would straight up be my team in Pokemon Sapphire. Yeah, from looking at this list. Salamence will sometimes be swapped with Flygon. Just kind of really depends, you know, on the situation itself. It's either Salamence with Flygon or Salamence with Aggron. And that's pretty much about it. So it'd be one of those two. But yeah, that's basically my team. That's my diverse team anyways. Quotation marks diverse anyways. So I don't know how diverse is. I don't know how good my team is, but that's basically my team. But usually if I see Garchomp and Gardevoir in the same team, they're both always my number one picks always, every single time. Always.
This wasn't just a battle, it was a pop quiz on the entire type chart, forcing you to think on your feet and adapt constantly. This broad type coverage meant that you couldn't just bring a few Pokemon that were strong against one type and expect to sweep. You needed a truly balanced team, capable of handling a wide array of threats. This design choice by Game Freak was a significant departure from previous champions, making her feel uniquely challenging and requiring a much deeper understanding of type matchups and team synergy. It forced players to move beyond simple type countering and consider their entire team's composition.
It's so weird because I've always had a diverse team when I played back then. That's what makes it so weird or so. I've always had a diverse team. I never like steamrolled like the Elite Four with like one single Pokemon. No, I always make sure to have like a roster of like different I don't know, maybe because I just thought differently, I guess. I don't know.
The Elite Four are a resource drain. Before you even dreamed of facing Cynthia, you had to survive the Elite Four. 4 intense battles back-to-back with no Pokemon Center in sight. You'd battle Aaron, Bertha, Flint, and Lucian, each with their own powerful teams, draining your Pokemon's health, depleting your precious PP, and emptying your bag of healing items. By the time you reached Cynthia's chamber, your Pokemon were battered.
Dude, I don't like these chibi models. I'm gonna be honest with you. The remake or so for these games or so, I really do not like the chibi models. I like the mods or so that they modded or so, where they have like the 3D sprites and everything in the actual game. But like, dude, these chibi models, I can't, dude. I can't work with this, to be honest. Yeah, I hate it Shining Pearl because of the models. Yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of it.
Strongest moves has 0 PP, and your bag was probably looking drier than the rivers in Africa. It meant that even if you had a perfectly capable team, you were starting the ultimate battle at a significant disadvantage. Cynthia being the absolute monster. The champion battle against Cynthia had started.
I'll show you guys the remix version of this song. I like the remix version of it.
Right when you entered the Elite Four. You had fallen onto her trap right when you entered. The cumulative damage and resource drain from the Elite Four made Cynthia's already formidable team feel even more invincible, contributing to the feeling of being utterly outmatched before the fight even truly began. Her full restore spam, and then the ultimate betrayal. Just when you thought you had her Spiritomb on the ropes, bam, full restore. Melodic looking weak, bam, another full restore. Cynthia wasn't just battling, she was playing mind games. She'd spam those full restores, healing her Pokemon to full health and curing every single status condition. It was like fighting a Hydra. Cut one head off, 2 more grew back. You'd spend turns chipping away at a Pokemon's health, only for her to instantly undo all your hard work.
I feel like downloading an emulator and test how hard she is. I don't know. I don't know. I just never had a problem with her. Really, a lot of people had problems with her. I guess if people started using like maybe like 1 or 2 Pokemons to like steamrolling everybody or so, I guess. But like, I don't know. For me, I've always had a diverse team. I already told you like my team or so in Diamond and Pearl, or like the Pokemons that I would use in like these are the ones that I used the most. You know, these were the ones that I played the most. You know. Like if we go, like, watch, if we pop it back up again, watch. Watch, if we pop it back up again, right? Empoleon, water and steel. This was the one that I used. This would be on the team. Let me see. Lopunny from time to time would be on the team. Garchomp is 100% on the team. Hippodon would be on the team. Milotic would be on the team, and Lucario would also be on the team as well. So that would basically be like the roster that I would use. Like that's my roster. Like what those were like the actual main Pokemons I would use. Like sometimes I'll swap Lopunny for Bastiodon from time to time, or I would swap it for I'm trying to think. No, I think that's pretty much it. I think those are pretty much my team. Fuck it, I do. Chat, which version is better, Diamond or Pearl? God knows the importance of diversity. Co is woke now. It's because you're a Pokemon master. Yeah, I think that would be my team. That would actually generally be my team that I would use. Yeah. Because I'm like looking at the roster here, right? Like I'm looking at the roster here from what is it, from Sinnoh? Is this from Sinnoh? I forgot. And this would basically be my team setup that I would have. Yeah, because I had never used any of the legendaries for that specific fight in general. Yeah.
This constant healing was a psychological weapon. It prolonged battles, made every turn feel like a struggle against an endless monster, and created immense frustration. It wasn't just about her Pokemon's raw power, it was about the sheer futility of your efforts when she could simply erase your progress with a single item. This tactic alone was enough to make many players throw their DS across the room.
What the fuck?
Let's break it down the rest of the gang, because Garchomp wasn't the only problem. Every single Pokemon on Cynthia's team was a threat, designed to wear you down and set the stage for the grand finale. First up, Spiritomb. This ghost/dark type was a nightmare because Generation 4 it had no weaknesses. You couldn't hit it super effectively with anything. It just sat there lowering your special defense with Dark Pulse and Shadow Ball, setting the stage for pain. It was the ultimate wall, forcing you to use up precious PP
I know, tell me about
and
it.
take damage before you even got to the real threats. Then there's Milotic, a beautiful but deadly water type. In Diamond and
Dude, Milotic is probably like one of my favorite Pokemons. I love how beautiful she looks.
Pearl, it had Aqua Ring, slowly healing itself, and Mirror Coat to reflect your powerful special attacks right back at you, often knocking out your strongest special attacker in one hit. In Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, she even gives it a Flame Orb to activate its Marvel Scale ability, which boosts its already impressive defense by a staggering 50% when burned. It could tank hits and dish out Scald, which could burn your physical attackers. Lucario, the fighting and steel powerhouse, came next. Its Aura Sphere and
I remember
Shockwave, they never
Lucario.
miss. Ever. So don't even think about trying to boost your evasion against this guy. He'll just bypass it and hit you with super effective damage against rock. ice, steel, and normal types. It was fast, hit hard, and had coverage for many common types. Next up, Roserade, fast, and packing a punch with Sludge Bomb, a powerful poison-type move that gets a stab and
And I remember deleting this Pokemon from her, actually. Now that I'm remembering a little bit, like every so often core memories are being unlocked or so, I remember deleting this Pokemon.
poison you. It also had Energy Ball for water, rock, and ground types. And finally, Gastrodon, a water ground type that's only 4 times weak to grass, but otherwise a bulky annoyance with Earthquake and Scald, hitting hard, and taking hits surprisingly well. Each of these Pokemon drained your resources and forced specific counter strategies, building the tension linearly towards the ultimate.
Oh, interesting. He didn't talk about the Togekiss, right? Togekiss, right? Is that the one right there? Yeah, he didn't talk about the Togekiss. He just completely skipped the Togekiss. What the fuck?
Scald, hitting hard, and taking hits surprisingly well. Each of these Pokemon drained your resources and forced specific counter strategies, building the tension.
And then his audio is fucking peeking the shit out of my ears.
Linearly towards the ultimate showdown, the monstrous
His mic is
ace,
speaking.
Garchomp the Tyrant. Everyone wanted a glazing video on Garchomp, so here it is. Alright, let's talk about the main event and the reason we're all here. The Pokemon that still haunts our dreams, Garchomp. This isn't just any dragon/ground type. This is a pseudo-legendary with stats that put most actual legendaries to shame. We're talking a base stat total of 600. That's insane for a non-legendary, placing it among the most powerful Pokemon in the game. Let's break down those
Dude, I love Garchomp, man. Garchomp is one of my favorite Pokemons. Garchomp and Gardevoir are like my top 1 favorites. Like they're both literally equal to each other. Like I cannot choose one over the other. I cannot. They're just both just so great. I love both of them.
numbers because they tell the real story of why this land shark was so terrifying. We're talking 108 horsepower, a monstrous 130 attack, a solid 95 defense, and a blazing 102 speed. This thing hits like a truck, moves like a jet plane, and can take a hit too, and it's built for pure destruction. Its high attack and speed means it can often outspeed your Pokemon and deliver devastating blows before you even get a chance to react. The high HP and decent defenses allow it to survive hits that would knock out lesser Pokemon. This combination of offensive and defensive power is why it felt like an unstoppable force. In Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, Garchomp was already a nightmare with Stab Earthquake, a devastating ground-type move that hits everything on the ground, and Dragon Rush, a powerful dragon-type move that could even make you flinch. Plus, it knew Giga Impact, an extremely powerful and normal-type move that was the physical variant of Hyper Beam. While it needed a turn to recharge, often that one hit was all it needed to wipe out one of your Pokemon. But then came Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and Game Freak.
Now this is the one that I have not played. This is the one I have not played. Maybe in the far future we can probably play it, but yeah.
Said, you know what? Let's make it worse. In BDSP, Cynthia's Garchomp got a new trick, Swords Dance. This move raises Garchomp's attack stat by 2 stages in a single turn. Imagine a Pokemon that already hits like a train, now hitting like 2 f***ing trains after just one turn. After one Swords Dance, it could one-shot almost anything you threw at it, regardless of type effectiveness. The trauma was reawakened, amplified for a new generation of players. And for those of us replaying...
Is it really that hard? I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know. Is she really that hard now in her newer version?
It was a cruel reminder of the past, now made even more challenging. This single edition elevated an already infamous opponent to legendary status, making the remakes potentially even harder in this specific encounter. Now you might be thinking, Garchomp is 4 times weak to ice. I'll just bring an ice type and one-shot it. And you'd be right, mostly. But Cynthia, being the strategic genius she is, gave her Garchomp a little secret weapon in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, the Yatra Berry. This berry halves the damage to hit a super effective ice-type attack once. So your perfectly planned Ice Beam or Ice Shard might not be the instant KO you hoped for, leaving Garchomp alive to retaliate with a boosted Earthquake or Dragon Claw. This meant that your most obvious counter strategy, the one you probably spent hours training for, was partially negated. You expected a clean one-hit knockout, but instead, Garchomp survived with enough health to unleash a devastating counterattack, often wiping out your Ice-type Pokemon. This unexpected resilience added another layer of frustration and contributed to the feeling that Cynthia was always one step ahead. We haven't even started talking about Garchomp's ability. In Generation 4, Garchomp's only ability was Sand Veil, which boosts its evasion by 25% in a sandstorm. Sounds terrifying, right? Evasion boosts on a monster like Garchomp? Imagine trying to hit a Pokemon that's already fast and strong, and now it's dodging your attacks left and right. But here's the kicker. Cynthia's team never had a Pokemon that could set up a Sandstorm. Not in Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, or even Gen 5. So all those times you swore Garchomp dodged your attacks because of Sandveil, it was all in your head. The trauma was so real we imagined it was even more unfair than it actually was. So essentially Garchomp without any ability was plowing our teams.
I don't remember any Sandveil whatsoever, to be honest.
This common misconception among players truly highlights the
Or
psychological
like, well, not Sandveil, but like Sandstorm or whatever,
impact of the battle. We were so overwhelmed by Garchomp's raw power and speed that our brains filled in the blanks, perceiving it as an even greater threat than its mechanics actually allowed. It's a testament to how deeply this battle affected us. If these Garchomp nightmares are hitting too close to home, let me know your most traumatic Cynthia story in the comments below. Did you manage to one-shot Garchomp, or did it take you a dozen tries and a small army of full restores? Let me know your pain in the comments so that
I never had any issues or so. Like I don't know. I remember parts of it because I was remembering like I finished the Elite Four, and then I was farming, and I was kind of like roaming around the world or so because I had no idea what to do next. Right after defeating the Elite Four, right? And then I stumbled upon a shiny Pachirisu, and that was like pretty much it,
we can all feel at home. Facing Cynthia and Garchomp felt impossible, but eventually we all found ways to overcome the challenge. And it wasn't easy. The first most painful truth, and you probably went in underleveled. Cynthia's Garchomp sits at a whopping level 66 in the first battle, while the Elite Four's starting Pokemon are often in the late 40s. That's a huge jump. Many of us, myself included, had to go back to the drawing board, hit the Grand Underground, and grind for hours to get our teams into the high 50s or low 60s. It wasn't fun, but it was absolutely necessary. The level disparity between the Elite Four and Cynthia was a deliberate design choice that forced players to invest significant time and effort into leveling up their teams. This wasn't just about raw power, it was about ensuring your Pokemon could withstand Garchomp's attacks and deal enough damage to overcome its defenses, and the Yachi Berry. This fundamental shift in strategy from simply progressing through the story to dedicated grinding highlighted the sheer magnitude of the challenge. Remember how Cynthia spammed full restores? Well, you too can play that game. You might have felt like a bitch using them, but guess what? Cynthia herself uses items on all of her Pokemon.
If you use items, you're a bitch!
Her Melodic even has a Flame Orb to boost its defense. So stock up on those full restores, max revives, and even some leftovers or berries from the Grand Underground. This isn't a fair fight, and you need every advantage. Learning to strategically use healing items and held items became a crucial part of the problem solution.
What the fuck? Samurott? Isn't Samurott from isn't that from like from Black and White? What the fuck? Pokemon is 3 decades old. You feeling your bones creaking yet? Mine are. Nope.
An arc. Players realized that to beat a champion who played by her own rules, they had to adapt and use every tool at their disposal. This changed the perception of item usage from a cheat to a necessary strategy, a valuable lesson learned through the repeated defeats and the eventual win. But beyond grinding in items, true victory came from smart-type matchups and strategic Pokemon choices. Understanding weaknesses and resistances was key to dismantling Cynthia's diverse team. Garchomp's
Maybe that's the reason why. Maybe because I had a pretty diverse team, I handled the team, I handled her pretty well.
X weakness to Ice was its kryptonite. Pokemon like Mamoswine with its priority Ice Shard could often one-shot Garchomp, even if underleveled, because Ice Shard attacks first. Weevil, faster than Garchomp, could land a devastating Ice Punch or Avalanche. These Ice-type heroes were often the key to taking down the terrifying dragon. Fairy types, the Dragon Slayers, BDSP only. In Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, the introduction of the Fairy type was a game changer.
Oh, right. So, yeah, wait. If they brought the Fairy type into Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, that means Garchomp should be so easy to kill. that means it should be mega easy to destroy.
Fairy moves are super effective against Garchomp, and even better, Dragon-type moves have no effect on Fairy types. Togekiss with its dazzling gleam.
Bro, they nerfed my Gardevoir, and making her part Fairy was like, oh, dude, it fucking sucked though, because like I remember using Gardevoir against Metagross back in Sapphire, the original Sapphire. And I remember they 1v1 each other and I had no problem. But then when I tried the new remake version of it, like, because I completely forgot that fairy type was a thing or so, she got completely destroyed. Not destroyed though, but she got completely wrecked or so by Metagross. And I'm just like, I was like, no, I can't repeat what I did. So
Or Moonblast became an
that shit was
absolute
so
unit,
gay.
resisting Garchomp's attacks while dishing out
So
massive
gay.
damage. They also helped with Spiritomb, as Fairy is its only weakness. Other MVPs, Swampert with Ice Punch could tank hits and retaliate, and Gyarados
Maybe that's the reason why, because I've had like people, you know, but at the same time, you don't have Swampert available in this game though, so.
Intimidate ability could lower Garchomp's attack, giving you a crucial turn. Even a well-timed switch into a ghost type like Drifbloom could bait Garchomp's Earthquake, which wouldn't hit ghost types, allowing for a strategic counterattack or a free switch. These specific strategies, often shared and refined by the community, provided concrete pathways to victory. Cynthia's Pokemon, Spiritomb being Ghost/Dark, Togekiss being Fairy Flying, Roserade Grass/Poison, Gastrodon Water/Ground, Lucario fighting
Wasn't Togekiss considered as a normal type back then? Before the fairy was introduced? Right? Togekiss was normal and flying, right? Question mark? Originally, yes. Okay, alright. Just I'm trying to remember everything because it's been a hot minute, you know?
Steel, Milotic Water type, Garchomp Dragon/Ground, the You Can Say No to Cynthia, Secret Gen 5 Edition. And for those of you who just couldn't take it anymore, who needed a moment to breathe, did you know in the Undella Townhouse in Generation 5 when
You
Cynthia
must be
asked
living
if you
under a
want to
rock if
battle,
you haven't
can
heard a
actually
single
say
Pokemon
no?
game.
That's right. You don't have to face the trauma once again. You can literally just walk away. Though let's be honest, who even said no? The challenge was too alluring, even if it meant certain doom. This obscure fact highlights the player's intrinsic drive to overcome challenges, even when given an easy out. It adds a meta layer to the trauma, by showing that despite the pain, we chose to endure it, driven by the desire to prove ourselves. So Cynthia and Garchomp battle wasn't just a roadblock, it was a masterclass. It taught us about team building, type matchups, item management, and the sheer grit required to be a champion. It forced us to evolve as trainers, much like our Pokemon had to evolve to stand a chance.
Maybe it must have like trained other people because I don't remember ever having any difficulties. I really do not remember having a problem going against Cynthia whatsoever. I really do not remember ever struggling against her.
Cynthia didn't just traumatize us, she forged us into stronger, smarter players, capable of tackling any challenge the Pokemon world threw our way. The problem of her overwhelming power led to the solution of strategic mastery, making us better trainers in the process. If you could relate with this video, then you might relate to this one as well.
That's the thing itself. I was like, I don't remember.
How Cynthia and Garch
really don't remember. I really don't remember her being that, you know. I was exposed to ultra violent games. I just started playing Switch-based games in my intro to adulthood. Really? That's interesting. Yeah. Overall, that's pretty interesting though. So it traumatized an entire generation. I know for a fact I can't show you the music though, while I'm recording this show, but I'll show it to my Twitch audiences. My Twitch audiences will know, of course, but I can't show it in this recording, unfortunately. So, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, I've been back into, not really back to it, but I've been kind of interested back to maybe playing some Pokemon games in the future. Maybe we could probably do some fun Pokemon games. You know, relive some memories. You know, relive some old memories and stuff like that. You know. Best Pokemon Gen games are 3rd gen. I don't know which one that is. I don't know generations. Just say the name of the game. I don't keep track of generations. So, anyways, that's the end of the video. And yeah, did Cynthia scared you guys? Let me know down in the comment sections down below. I'd be very curious to see. You know, Black and White 2 for the win. Emerald. I just only played Sapphire. That's it. So, anyways. That's the end of the video. And yeah, fucking interesting to see that. And peace.